Picture a cemetery with me for a second, not the kind with headstones and flowers, but a cemetery of ideas, a graveyard of books that were never written, businesses that never left a notebook, people who never came close to what they were actually capable of. The uncomfortable truth is that most people who will ever live on this planet will die with their best still locked inside them, never truly lived, never truly tried. And I want you to sit with that for just a moment. Now, I need to be clear with you right from the start. This video is not here to bring you down or leave you in a dark place. Quite the opposite. It's here to shake you awake, because a majority of people spend their entire lives waiting for the perfect moment, waiting for the economy to get better, waiting for motivation to knock on their door like a friendly neighbor. And while they wait, time quietly devours their dreams. Maybe that's happening to you right now. If it is, that's exactly why you need to stay for what I'm about to share. Here's the uncomfortable truth I promised you. Patience, the way most of us were taught to see it, is usually just procrastination with a fancy label. We were told that good things take time, and yes, that part is true. But nobody bothered to tell us that time on its own guarantees absolutely nothing. There are people who have been waiting for 20 years and are standing in the exact same spot they started. Time without action is just time passing. And I also need to make something clear. This video is not about motivation. Motivation is the cheapest fuel there is. It burns fast, and it runs out right when you need it most, right at the first real hill you have climbed. What I'm going to give you instead is a plan, a realistic, surgical method to compress 5 years of real progress into just 12 months. And before you think this is about grinding yourself into the ground, working 20 hours a day until you burn out, it's not. This is about understanding the physics of your own success. And the approach I'm going to walk you through is as far from cheap feel-good advice as you can get. So here's what I suggest. Grab a coffee. Pour yourself a glass of water like I have right here with me. Pick up a notebook and a pen. And please, turn off your notifications right now. Step away from anything that could pull your attention away. Because what I'm about to share with you in the next few minutes has the real potential to change the direction of your life. You have two choices in front of you. You accept what I'm about to tell you. You face the discomfort of actual growth, or you keep living the same rerun for the next 5 years. The clock is already running, and it doesn't wait for anyone. Let's start with phase 1, which I call the brutal cleanup. If you apply only this first phase from everything I share with you today, I am willing to say that your productivity could double within 30 days. Let me show you exactly how we are going to recover 1,825 hours that are currently being wasted every single year of your life. Most of us live in what I call time garbage. It's that almost state. You're almost working, but there's a social media tab open on your screen. You're almost resting, but you're answering messages on your phone. You pick up your phone to scroll for 15 minutes, and you do it about 20 times a day. You don't need to reach for a calculator. That's 5 hours gone every single day, and across a full year, that adds up to 1,825 hours. Now think about what you could actually do with that time. You could learn a new language. You could build a business from nothing. You could completely transform your body. But instead, intentionally or not, you are choosing to watch other people live their lives. I want you to grab that piece of paper right now. You can pause this video to do it. I want you to write down everything you did in the last 24 hours. From the moment you open your eyes to the moment you close them at night. Be brutally honest with yourself. Nobody is watching. Nobody is judging you. It is just you and your own conscience. Once you have that list in front of you, look at it carefully and apply what is known as the Pareto principle, the 80-20 rule. Of everything on that list, which 2 or 3 actions actually moved you forward towards something that matters to you long term? Just those 2 or 3. Everything else? It's noise. And this brings up something important about success, because success is a subjective thing. Your version of it is different from mine. But there is one thing almost everyone gets wrong. Most people think success is built by adding more and more to their life. In reality, success is a work of subtraction. Think of it like sculpting. You don't build a statue by adding clay. You remove everything that doesn't belong to the final form, applied to your life. That means removing everything that doesn't belong to the person you are becoming. Now here's the real question. Are you willing to be the boring one in the group? The one who says no to a casual Tuesday night out? The one who has no idea what the latest drama on social media is? Because when we talk about compressing 5 years into one, you have to let go of needing other people's approval. You can either have the compressed growth, or you can have the applause from the people around you. In my honest view, those two things don't fit in the same hand at the same time. It comes down to choosing your sacrifice. Because if you don't choose what you're willing to sacrifice, your future will become the sacrifice. And that is the saddest math I know. So let's change that right now. You've identified your 20%. Now, let's talk about how to protect it with everything you have. This brings us to phase 2, which is what I call focus engineering. Your brain is your greatest asset. It is the only tool you have to turn ideas into reality. But the truth is that most of us have turned our brains into a garbage dump. Let me ask you something, and I want you to be honest with me here. You wake up in the morning. Your brain is still in that transition state, cleaning out the toxins from the night before. What is the very first thing you do? You grab your phone. You open an app. You flood your mind with cheap dopamine. Notifications from people you don't even really like. Negative news from a world you cannot control. Gossip about celebrities who don't pay your bills. In that exact moment, before you have even put your feet on the floor, you have already lost the attention war for the day. So does that sound familiar to you? To grow 5 years in one, you need to work with your biology instead of against it. And please forget the hustle culture advice about sleeping less and working while everyone else rests. You need to sleep well. That is a non-negotiable pillar of everything. Your bedroom should feel like a cave, completely dark. Start dimming the lights at least an hour before you sleep. Turn off anything with a blue glow, because that kind of light signals to your brain that it's still daytime, and it blocks the melatonin your body needs. Transform your room into a cave for sleep. You won't forget that. The second point in this phase is this. Start taking care of your future before it becomes a problem that is too expensive to fix. I'm talking specifically about money. Most people know they should be learning about investing, building assets, thinking about their financial future, but they keep putting it off. It feels small in the moment, but years down the road, that decision costs an enormous price. The best time to start thinking about your financial future was years ago. The second best time is today. Don't be the person who keeps saying they'll figure out later, because later has a way of never arriving. The third point is performance nutrition. Let's be real with each other. If you are eating like a child at a birthday party, do not expect to have the focus and clarity of someone who is operating at a high level. Research consistently points to sugar as one of the biggest enemies of sustained concentration and deep work. Every time you eat ultra-processed food, you create an insulin spike, and after the spike comes a crash. And you know exactly what that crash feels like. That mental fog at 2 in the afternoon, that makes you want to close your eyes. Without mental clarity, you don't execute. You just stay busy. And there is a massive difference between being genuinely productive and simply being occupied. In fact, many people use busyness as a crutch, a way to avoid doing the actual work they know they need to do. There is even a specific term for it called active procrastination, which means you're not sitting still on the couch, but everything you are doing is avoiding the one thing that actually matters. To enter that state of deep focus, you need a ritual. So here are a few quick suggestions that will help you get there more easily. Find the right music for focus work, preferably without lyrics. Control your environment before you sit down to work. And put an absolute end to multitasking. Here's the truth about your brain. It does not actually multitask. What it does is switch rapidly between tasks. And every single time you jump from one task to another, you pay a switching tax. That tax is approximately 20 minutes of recovery time before your attention is fully locked in again. So if you are checking your messages every 15 minutes, the honest truth is that you have never in your life operated at your full cognitive capacity. You are running at roughly 20% of what you are actually capable of. Think of your focus like a laser. A laser concentrates all of its energy into a single precise point. A regular light bulb spreads its light in every direction. It illuminates, but it doesn't transform anything. A laser can cut through steel. Be the laser, not the light bulb. Now we move into phase 3, which is the 4-hour rule. This is where we talk about real strategy, no more theory. The part one love most. How do you structure your day to actually win? First thing, forget the to-do list with 50 items on it. I used to make those lists all the time, and what I know now is that they're the fastest path to anxiety, failure, and frustration. At the start of the day, they give you a false sense of momentum, a feeling that you are a very busy, productive person. And crossing things off can feel satisfying until you are honest enough with yourself to notice that the tasks you keep crossing off are the easiest ones. The hard ones keep getting pushed to tomorrow. Instead, I want to suggest something I call the 4 non-negotiable hours. And here is an important note. I'm giving you the plan that makes sense to me, the plan I have personally tested and proven works. But if 4 hours is genuinely impossible for your life right now, that is completely fine. If you can carve out 1 non-negotiable hour, that is your starting point. Adapt this to your reality, your schedule, your lifestyle. Don't get stuck on the details. What matters is that you have some protected, uninterrupted block of time, whatever that looks like for you. During this time, you do deep work. The tasks that require 100% of your cognitive capacity. The work that actually moves a needle in your life. Writing that project. Building that sales strategy. Learning that complex skill you have been putting off. During this block of time, the world ceases to exist for you. Your phone is not on silent. It is in another room, and it is off. Your door is closed. If you need to, put a sign on it. I know this might seem extreme to some people, but over time you will realize it is simply necessary. Here's the math that makes this real. If you do 4 hours of deep, uninterrupted work every single day, you will produce more than most people produce in an entire normal work week. Think about that. 4 days of advantage every week. That is 16 days in a month. Over a full year, that is 200 extra days of real, meaningful productivity. That is how you compress time. That is the 5 years in one plan. But for this system to work, you have to eliminate what I call the gray zone. And I would bet that you are living in it right now. The gray zone is when you're trying to work, but you're thinking about dinner or replaying an argument you had with someone. And when you finally try to rest, you're lying there with your phone in your hand, feeling guilty for not working. The result is that you never produce anything of real value, and you never actually rest. You're always tired but never fulfilled. You are never doing either thing well. Break that cycle. When it is time to work, work with total focus. When it is time to rest, actually rest. Be present with the people you love. Shut everything else off. Now we arrive at phase 4, the 12-month timeline. This is the final phase of our realistic plan, and I don't want you to leave this video just feeling motivated. I want you to leave with something concrete and actionable. So we are going to divide the next 12 months into 4 powerful quarters. The first quarter is foundation and detox. In these first 90 days, your goal is not to make money. It's not to become famous. It is to gain control. control over your impulses, your habits, your attention. This means a deep digital detox. Social media is only for sharing your own content or genuinely learning something, never for mindless scrolling. Vices get cut from the root. Sleep becomes your number one priority. In these 90 days, you define your one thing, that single project that, if it works, makes everything else secondary. And in these 90 days, you master one of the most powerful words that exists. No. You say no to 99% of opportunities, invitations, and distractions so that down the road, you can say one enormous yes to what truly matters. The second quarter is skill expansion. By now, you have focus and energy working for you. It is time to become genuinely excellent at whatever you have chosen. Identify the most valuable skill in your field, the one you are most drawn to, the one you care about most. And you go deep into it like your life depends on it. I'm not talking about buying an expensive course and never opening it. I'm talking about researching something at 8 in the morning and applying it by 10. The third quarter is building systems and leverage. You now have a foundation and a skill. This is the moment to stop trading your time directly for money. You build systems. You automate whatever is repetitive. You delegate whatever doesn't need to be done by you. If you want to grow 5 years in one, you cannot become a prisoner of your own creation. This is where the magic of compounding effort happens, where work you put in today continues to generate results for months to come. The fourth and final quarter is refinement and harvest. In this last phase, you are no longer sprinting. You are making precise adjustments, optimizing your results, refining your position in your market, sharpening the aim of your laser. This is a harvest phase. But harvesting doesn't mean stopping. It means preparing your ground for the next 5 years in one cycle, because this doesn't end after 12 months. It becomes the way you operate. At the end of these 12 months, following what I walked you through today, I promise you that you will look at yourself and not recognize the person who first pressed play on this video. That is not an internet guru's empty claim. It is the inevitable consequence of actually doing the work. I'm not promising that your life changes overnight. I am telling you that 12 months is enough time for a transformation that is completely real. We are near the end of this video now, but your work is only beginning. I gave you the plan. I walked you through the strategy. I gave you the full timeline. Now the ball is in your court. You can close this video and go back to your comfortable, familiar life. And 5 years from now, you will probably be in the same place, carrying the same complaints, holding the same frustrated dreams. Or you can decide right now, in this exact second, that your time is worth more than that. The realistic plan is right in front of you. The only thing missing is the courage to take the first step. My suggestion is simple. Don't wait for Monday. Don't wait for next month. Start now. Go identify your time garbage today, right after this video ends. And if you made it this far, you should know that you are already different from most people who clicked on this. More than half of them left long before now. I mentioned earlier in this video that I'd share a free resource with you covering the strategies I talked about. Drop the words "I want the material" in the comments below, and I will send it to each person who asks. And just so you know, if I'm unable to send it to you directly, I always leave a pinned comment on the video with the link. So come back and check there if you haven't received it. I want to close by leaving you with one thought. A year from now, you can be bearing a dream or celebrating the day you decided to begin. The difference between those two outcomes is what you choose to do today. With care. See you in the next video.